The attendance tonight was 7,000 something. Horrible handwriting here. Gate was 358,000. Fight of the night, Nunes and Bart. Knockout of the night, Michael Johnson. And submission of the night, Edwards. Those guys won $40,000 each. Congratulations, gentlemen. Who's got the first question?
Guess we start with John, please. John, obviously, less than a year after your official promotional debut, it looks like you've got a title shot lined up. Dana, that's still the case, correct?
Yep. Yep.
Title shot lined up. So talk to us about how you're feeling.
One of the fastest guys ever in the UFC.
Yeah. Talk to us about how you're feeling right now.
I feel great. It's going to be a fun fight for me. I just can't wait for me and Mike Mass to fight. That's the only thing I'm going to say. It's going to be fun. It's going to be explosive. And beating Juicy De Silva is one of the best fighters that I've ever had fight to this day. You know, I know Ian McCall's kind of mad.
Can you talk about how the fight played out versus your expectations, and maybe the boos that were coming in? Did you hear that? Did that factor into your approach? How did that play out?
You know what? I can't sit there and hate on the fans for booing because of the fact that they got so spoiled at the beginning of the earlier fights. There were so many knockouts, so many great back and forth battles, and also great submissions right before me. And then I get out there and I'm being very technical. They're like, "You suck!" Had some hot lines come up to me with a smile like, "Hey, you suck." And I'm like, "Yes, somebody says I suck." That was only my reaction to it. So for me, I can't complain about them booing, but I did give them a knockout, so they started cheering afterwards.
And one final one for you. I know you said that you and Demetrius will be the fastest fight anybody has ever seen, but beyond that, have you really started to break him down yet? Have you seen any holes in his game? Have you figured out how you think you can dethrone him?
I've already done that plenty of times. I've seen that fight happen probably 1,000 or 1,000,000 times in my own head. I've watched plenty of videos on him. I'm just not going to give you guys my secret yet. I'll let you guys see it when it happens.
Sounds good. If I could just skip for Travis real quick, can you talk to us? I guess it looked like your left leg was injured. Can you tell us about when that happened and what occurred?
Yeah, it was. I think it was like the first kick I threw. My left hamstring popped like 3 times. So, putting that aside, Bigfoot came out. He won a fight. Not trying to take anything away from the guy. Come back stronger.
Can you talk about the finishing sequence though? How much of that was your leg that you couldn't put weight on it, or how much of it was really just the punches connecting clubs?
I kind of want to go back to what I just said. I don't want to take anything away from Bigfoot. He came out and capitalized on something that he saw, and he won a fight.
Dana, we've seen some great flyweight fights of late. The flyweight tournament crowned in spectacular fashion, and then we had 2 great flyweight fights tonight. How frustrated are you at this point that the crowds still aren't seeming to get into the flyweights?
Yeah, it's a little weird, man. I don't know if, I think guys get 10, 12 beers in them and expect guys to run out and do the windmill or something, but, it was a very important fight for both guys. So, like he said, it was a technical fight. He waited, he got his opportunity, and he capitalized on it. That's fighting. That's the beauty of 2 of the best in the world going at it, I don't even know what to say. And then he finished the fight and cheering. He gave them what they wanted to see at the end of the night, So you can't go out with that much on the line and just run straight out like 2 freight trains and try to kill each other,
Dana, obviously Travis came in as the favorite tonight. We thought if he won this fight, it would sort of solidify him in the top 10. Can you speak to where the upset kind of leaves both him and Bigfoot in the division?
Yeah, no, this was a big fight for the heavyweight division and for these 2 guys. Travis being undefeated and Bigfoot looking to get back into the mix in the heavyweight division, and he did that tonight. And I agree with what Travis said. I've seen so many fights in the UFC where a guy blows his knee out in the middle of the fight, or guys break their hands or whatever, and the fight goes the distance. He saw that he was hurt, and he went in and he finished. He capitalized on it and finished the fight. So he looked good tonight.
And Bigfoot talked leading up to this fight about how he considered it to be a must-win for him. Can you speak to that a little bit? Was he fighting for his job tonight, or
Well, I don't know if he was fighting for his, but when I went in and talked to the guys after the weigh-ins, this is one of those fights. One of those businesses that unfortunately, we're all as good as our last fight. Them and us, the UFC. So every fight's important. It's not like one fight is more important than the other. They're all important.
For Travis, did you see anything that surprised you tonight from Silva?
Not at all. Not at all.
And can you talk a little bit about what your game plan was coming in? Was it just to use your speed, try to kind of outquick him, or what was the game plan there?
You know, yeah, it was to come in, use my movement, athleticism, cut corners or cut angles, and read attack a lot. And then I just didn't fall through.
Any more questions? Go ahead, John.
I guess just wanted to ask Jake about the performance tonight. Obviously, you know, one of the more tentative fights that we've seen you fight, but you were in control throughout. You know, what was the approach and how did it play out versus your expectations?
You know, I knew going into this fight, Jay was going to be a dangerous opponent. Anybody who knows MMA knows, you know, how much experience this guy has. I've trained him too. I've known him really well. He's well-rounded, he's dangerous. So, you know, the first round, feeling him out a little bit, and you know, for me, there's a lot of things that I've made to made some small adjustments moving forward. I mean, obviously tighten up my defense, learn from that last fight against Cannon, you know, but you know, each fight learning and moving forward, so that's all I can do, you know, keep learning, keep growing, and on to the next one.
I know you kind of got off track with that last loss, but you're still 7-1 your last 8 fights. What do you want to do from here? I mean, do you want to take a couple, you know, kind of mid-tier fights to get a few more wins under, or are you going to be pressuring Dana to, hey, you know, make sure I'm still in that top mix?
No, you know, that's not my job, you know. I'm just going to keep training.
He is though. He is. He's there. You know, tonight was one of those, like he just said, anybody in this business that knows Jake Haran knows he's a tough guy and been around for a long time. And this was one of those situations where Jake was in this position where Jake is one of the top ranked guys, fighting the guy who's fighting for his life. You know, that means everything to that kid to win tonight and get back to the UFC. So it was a tough fight for Jake, and I respect him for stepping up and taking the fight. And I didn't mean to cut you off, buddy.
Oh, no worries, no. Yeah, I mean, for me too, you know, I'm coming to this fight, you know, we don't get to choose who we fight, so, you know, whoever they tell me to fight, I'm going to fight and be as prepared as possible for it. So, you know, like I said, Jay's an extremely tough opponent, so I had to fight smart. You know, I got some of the best trainers in the world. That's how Cordero, everybody down at Rain Training Center, my brother, so just got a great team with me, you know, moving forward.
If I could ask Michael, please. Mike, can you walk us back to that first round? I don't know how much of you remember it this time, if you had a chance to see it, but walk us through the opening round. You know, how hurt were you? How close did you choke? All those things, and how did you make it through?
The first round was kind of funny for me, actually. You caught me slipping. I left my hand down a little low, and next thing I know, the floor wasn't underneath me where it was in the beginning. So he jumped on me. You know, the choke was very tight. But, you know, it was one of those things in the cage where I'm either going to let a 2-fight streak go down the drain and everything I worked hard for go out the window. I'm going to fight through this and get to the second round. So, you know, hats off to him. You know, he fought a good first round, but I knew if I just got out of that trouble, then I was going to come back in the second.
And I guess what does a bonus check mean to you? That's a nice thing, right?
Yeah, that's a very nice thing. It means a lot. My AC in my car is actually going out. It's hot in Florida, so I need something to fix that.
Jacob, I was wondering if you could talk to us a little about your performance tonight. You obviously got a great reaction from the crowd here in Minneapolis, and how does this affect your prospects in the division and your candidacy for president?
Not sure how it affects my prospects in the division. You're going to have to ask Dana about that one. But I think it's going to help him with the candidacy. Hopefully get a few more write-ins.
All right, Dana, where would you put Jacob Wogman? What's his next fight?
Candidacy? A finish always gets you a few more votes. And a little more favorable position in, you know, of what fight you get next. So you look great tonight. Good job.
Yeah, for Bigfoot, yeah, leading up to this fight, you talked about how you knew this was a must-win for you. Can you just tell us how you're feeling after the win?
I'm gonna try answer in English, okay, guys? Now I'm very happy. You know, my first win in UFC is the big show in the world, and I'm trying 2 months for this fight because I said before, this fight for me, I have only one opportunity. I can't make any mistake. For me, it's a kill or die, and I gotta kill.
Victoria Bulakova, Russian Chicago magazine. My question is for Travis. Travis, there is a saying that who never loses never gets up. How do you feel about your first loss in UFC?
Sorry, one more time?
There is a saying, who never fails never gets up. How much important for you is it, and how do you feel having your first loss in UFC?
All this does is motivate the hell out of me. Yeah, I'm just ready to come back and heal up. I'm still the same fighter, but I'm gonna come back even more pissed off and harder this time. I fucking hate losing.